Have y'all ever noticed that certain artists are associated with being bad? Like every time their names come up, the most you hear people say is that they're a terrible artist. I've always wondered if these artists are truly terrible, or is it just a popular thing to say? Well, right about now, I'm about to find out if one of these artists are bad, as their name is always associated with such. I vividly remember when Iggy Azalea hit the scene. She was instantly labeled a trash rapper, and I definitely understand why a lot of people came to that conclusion. Whenever she was put on the spot to showcase her abilities, she oftentimes failed to do so, as her flows and lyrics were unamusing. I even agree with this notion, as I didn't believe her performances were good either. There are a lot of instances where clips of Iggy Azalea putting on bad performances are more known than her actual music. This definitely affected her, as people weren't interested in listening to her projects. Another thing that affected Iggy was the controversy of her accent when she raps. She's originally from Australia, and when she talks normally, she uses her natural accent. When she raps, she puts on a fake accent that involves her trying to sound like a rapper from the South. This is another instance where I understood people's dispositions towards her, which ultimately earned her the label of a trash rapper. I even had this opinion for a long time, but thankfully I gained a new perspective where I don't call rappers trash based off of trivial things. For me to call a rapper trash, I have to think their music is trash, and if I'm being honest, I've never listened to an Iggy Azalea album. With that being said, I can't rightfully state that she's a trash rapper, as I didn't listen to her music. What I'm about to do right now is listen to every Iggy Azalea project so I can properly analyze her music. She has 2 mixtapes, 3 albums, and 5 EPs. I'm not going to include 3 of her EPs, as 2 of them contain songs that will later appear on albums and mixtapes, and the other EP is a live performance project. With that being said, let's go ahead and listen to every Iggy project to rightfully determine if she's a bad rapper.
What it in Amazon taste this kitty, silly Billy, poppin' pillies, smoking like a swisher, lick this feeling, modem.
This is my first time listening to a project from Iggy Azalea, and there is so much to unpack. The controversy of her unauthentic flow is very prevalent on this mixtape, and it greatly affects the majority of the songs. Her flow definitely feels imitative, as she tries her best to sound like a rapper from the South. This is both annoying and cringy, as her delivery feels all over the place. But all isn't bad when it comes to Iggy's style. One thing that I like about Iggy Azalea is that she's very confident in her tone. She applied this on every track, which is very commendable. She also raps well on each track, as she flows exceptionally over the instrumentals. Honestly, the only bad thing about her style is how she sounds, as the other elements are good. I must also commend her for her creativity, even if I didn't necessarily like her delivery for the majority of this project. I was glad that she made her peculiar style work on a few tracks, which could possibly lead to me liking more of her music in the future. In my opinion, Iggy's style works best on tracks that have slow production on this project. When she raps on hype catchy instrumentals, the loudness of her vocals greatly reflects the unauthentic nature of her flow. On the slower production, her style works for me, as it highlights the confidence of her flow more than the fact that she's putting on a fake accent. The tracks Treasure Island and the last song greatly showcases this, as her style worked exceptionally on these songs. Treasure Island has a slow hard trap instrumental, which works well with Iggy's manufactured southern flow.
I'm the leader of my circle, I'm the head of my peers, I'm the leader of the ladies, let's get this clear. That's how we rock.
The last song is great all around, as Iggy's passionate delivery works well with the interesting concept, which is about her loving her significant other no matter what her friends think of him. The production on this mixtape is great overall, and the featured artists have good performances for the most part. There's a track that I hate was ruined by Iggy's unamusing style, as the production and melodic vocals from the featured artist are incredible. The song in question is Backseat, which includes an addictive trance-like instrumental and catchy melodic vocals from the artist Chevy Jones. Iggy's fake southern flow greatly ruined this track, as it doesn't work well with the upbeat feel of the production. In conclusion, this wasn't a bad mixtape. Iggy Azalea showcased great confidence in her style, although the sound of her vocals weren't sonically appealing for the most part.
Went down and kissed it. This pink, no lipstick, more like lip gloss when it's sticky.
Iggy's style is very impressive on this mixtape, and I'm shocked by how good her performances were. My expectations were definitely low, as I didn't like the way her voice sounded on her previous mixtape. This was due to her putting on a fake southern accent. She did the same thing on this project, but this time she greatly executes it. Her delivery isn't cringy, as she tweaked her southern drawl in order to sound more authentic. This worked well with her already passionate delivery, which led to a ton of good tracks on this project. I also like the fact that Iggy provides multiple flows within her verses, which highlights her skill. The production is very unique, as instrumentals are mixed with various styles from other genres. One genre in particular is EDM, which led to this project having a ton of captivating instrumentals. Perfect examples of this are the tracks Demons and Back to the Future My Time. Another great aspect of this project are the performances from the guest features. A major highlight for me is Mike Posner on the song Flash. His melodic vocals complement Iggy's sensual flow exceptionally.
We both getting money, I'm just trying to feel the power. When it's spring, summer, till we fall like out.
She also has great chemistry with other rap artists, as her flows and delivery are top notch. Iggy also provides a wide range of concepts throughout this mixtape. She provides inspirational and motivational messages on songs like Runaway and Slow Pride. The song Demons has a very unique concept about Iggy knowing demonic forces will soon take her away, which leads to her living her life to the fullest and metaphorically writing her will. Then you have tracks that highlight her sex appeal, with the great example being songs like 1-800-BONE and Down South.
He got that secret service, it's that presidential shit. Get a busy tone when you call my phone and my voicemail.
But although Iggy consistently provides good performances, a lot of tracks didn't stand out. I feel like Iggy hasn't fully reached her potential, which I'm excited to find out if she did on later projects. All in all, this is a really good mixtape with great production concepts and performances.
First things first, I'm the realest. Drop this and let the whole world feel it. Let them feel it. And I'm still in.
Iggy really impressed me on this album, as she provides a ton of great performances. No longer does her style feel unauthentic, as she mastered her flow and delivery. She impressively showcased many elements to her style, as she knows how to effectively switch up her flow during her verses. Another great thing Iggy did on this album was adapt to many different styles of production. I'm highly impressed by her skill, and I'm already at the point of disagreeing with her being a bad rapper. This album has so much to offer, as Iggy provides fascinating motivational tracks, great upbeat dance songs, and pop style tracks. The motivational songs are a major highlight of this project, as she did a great job providing passionate performances. The song Work is a great example of this, as Iggy reflects on her come up, as she didn't have money or family by her side. This led to her grinding in order to get where she's at today. Not only did Iggy provide a great passionate performance on this song, the production is extremely unique, as the instrumental has a motivational feel to it, along with having a dance vibe as if you were at a club.
Now get this work. Now get this work.
There are many instances like this on this project, which increases its enjoyability. Another unique highlight is the song Don't Need Y'all, which has a slow, gloomy feel to it. Iggy provides another interesting concept on this track that involves her addressing fake people in her life that now want to be around her since she's famous and has money. Her passionate performance is captivating, and her lyrics greatly reflect the concept. Another amazing thing Iggy did on this album is make upbeat dance tracks enjoyable. The reason I say this is because these types of songs usually don't appeal to me. Iggy performed so well on these tracks and made them highly enjoyable. A perfect example of this is the song Bounce, as the production in Iggy's flow is extremely catchy.
Iggy, getting them tipsy, tipping them broads, 150s, pulling them nails, go black, cause she didn't know.
There is only two minor flaws on this album, which are the pop performances from the featured artist and Iggy reverting back to her cringy delivery on one track. The first flaw isn't a big deal, as the songs themselves aren't bad. The singing performances from the featured artist just aren't sonically appealing to me. The songs in question are Fancy and Black Widow, which are the two most popular songs on this album. Iggy's performances on these songs are great, as her aggressive flows are executed well. The production on these songs are also catchy. Charlie XCX and Rita Ora's vocals just didn't do it for me, as the sound of their singing leans a lot towards the pop genre. The song New is completely ruined by Iggy's flow on her verses. Her unique southern flow is a bit too much, as her delivery feels forced. This is a shame, because the chorus is incredible on this song.
I found his new sex, fresh in some new shit. Damn, she is too thick. Who is?
But thankfully these minor flaws didn't ruin my experience, as the songs are not bad, and I can see why people would enjoy them. Other incredible highlights for me are the tracks Goddess and F Love. Both of these songs have an amazing upbeat feel to them, and Iggy provides very catchy flows and unique concepts for both of them. I can honestly go on all day about how amazing this album is, as there are so many great elements. All in all, this is an incredible album, as Iggy provides great performances and concepts throughout.
Opposites attract, like it's this is that. Good girl, bad guy, what a perfect match. And if we you gon' wanna play.
This project is a reissue of her debut album, The New Classic, with 5 additional tracks. For this review, I'm only going to talk about the 5 new tracks. With that being said, Iggy continues to showcase her unique style remarkably. The hunger in her flow is still captivating, which oftentimes leads to her making great music. The 5 new tracks on this album contain a lot of variety, which is due to the production, concepts, and flows from Iggy. She starts this album by highlighting the success of her debut album. She also states that she's going to continue to thrive in her career as she doesn't plan to stop anytime soon. The second track, Beg For It, is a major highlight for me as the dance style production is very addictive along with Iggy's flow. The featured artist Mo also provides incredible singing vocals on the chorus, making this track an all-around banger.
Yeah, my bacon, cake long, that's automatic.
Speaking of the featured artist, they did a great job for the most part. The only exception is Jennifer Hudson on the song Trouble. Jennifer Hudson's singing performance isn't bad, it's just that her strong vocals don't blend well with Iggy's style. Another thing I didn't like about this track is the production. The instrumental sounds like it belongs in a movie where the scenes transition. This exact style of production is also on the track Iggy Season, and it's not sonically appealing to me at all. Thankfully, these are the only flaws on this project, as it ends with a great motivational track. On the song Heavy Crown, Iggy showcases her abilities remarkably as she provides multiple flows. She impressively presents a fast flow on the first verse, which is executed amazingly, as I didn't know that she had that in her arsenal. This is also a great inspirational track that involves Iggy earning a crown for her hard work, which she plans to keep no matter what.
And all of my folks who done been here from jump, you the ones I'ma cover the bill for. And as I get ill more, we go triple the order of shaping this field.
In conclusion, this is a nice collection of new tracks as Iggy continues to showcase her talents exceptionally.
Foreplay, I ain't come to play. I got big fish money, he gon' bite the bait. Yeah, can you drop it down?
This is a solid EP from Iggy. The production fits her style on this project remarkably. The production is that of a gloomy dance feel, as if you were at a nightclub. This leads to Iggy showcasing intriguing flows that match the aura of this EP. I was a bit worried at the beginning, as Iggy didn't showcase her signature confident flow. This project came out 4 years after her debut album, which could have easily affected her passionate rap style. But thankfully, this is only noticeable on the intro track Survive the Summer, as her overall delivery is very dry. She instantly picked it back up on the next song, Tokyo Snow Trip. Although Iggy's creative choice isn't sonically appealing to me on this track, I still commend her for trying something different. Her whispering flow is unique, and I like the fact that she provides her signature confident delivery. The next 3 tracks did a fantastic job creating that gloomy upbeat dance feel that I mentioned before. Iggy showcased an intriguing menacing flow on the song Cream, and Tyga greatly assisted her as his verse consists of fantastic punchlines. Iggy then provides the same great elements on the next 2 tracks, Hey Iggy and Kawasaki. The dark elements are catchy on these tracks, along with Iggy's flows on her verses and hooks. The song OMG also involved Iggy doing this, but sadly the song is ruined by a lackluster performance from Wiz Khalifa.
He said it tastes so good, I should just serve it on the plate. Or that Ray fresh off the lot, that bitch ain't even.
In conclusion, this is a pretty good EP. I like the overall dark feel of it, and Iggy provides great performances. She proved that she can still provide her infectious, confident rap style, which adds a high level of excitement for her next project.
Hey, don't lie. She can get a little jealous, oh, no die. She can be.
This EP is absolutely incredible. The first thing I noticed is that Iggy mastered her overall style. Her accent feels natural than ever, which greatly helps with the execution of her delivery. She continues to showcase multiple flows, which is very prevalent on the intro track Lola. Iggy completely blew me away on this song, as she showcases an intriguing fast rap style during her verses. Iggy also provides a unique concept, as her lyrics consist of her highlighting people loving her diva-like attitude. The featured artist Alice Shader also did an incredible job as her singing vocals are remarkable. Another great thing about this track is the production, as it's hard-hitting, which works well with Iggy's aggressive style. Every element of this track also applies to the rest of the songs on this project.
I just keep laughing at your pain and Novocaine. Need to pad a room with chains, and my brain might need a straight jacket.
Iggy's mastered flow is even more prevalent on the next track, Not Important, as it feels natural and her confidence is through the roof. The production on this track is incredible as well, as the beat is extremely catchy. I love the message on the next track, The Girls, as Iggy motivates women to stay strong in a society that's against them. The inspirational feel is captured amazingly on this track, which is due to the instrumental and Iggy's passionate performance. The only thing that I didn't like about this track were the unappealing singing vocals from the featured artist, Pablo Vittar. I don't like the sound of her high notes, which sadly kills this track for me.
It's the world against the girls these days.
Iggy then ends this EP with a very catchy track. The song Personal Problem is great all around due to Iggy's catchy flow and lyrics. This track also has another great instrumental, which leads to this project having flawless production. In conclusion, this is an incredible EP, as Iggy showcases a fully refined style that consists of multiple intriguing flows. The concepts are amazing, and the production is flawless.
Little Sally Walker walking down the street. She didn't know what to do, so she jumped in front.
Iggy brings her fully developed style on this album. Her flows and delivery are top notch, which led to her showcasing a ton of great performances. Although this is the case, this album definitely has notable flaws. There was a missed opportunity with the direction of this album, as it started off with a great concept. On the first 2 tracks, Iggy talks about her position in rap, as she believes she's helped countless artists, only for those same people to turn their backs on her. Another interesting thing that Iggy addresses is her controversial rap style that involves her putting on a southern accent. She talks about how people believe that she's acting black, which leads to her combating this by ignoring the criticism and continuing to succeed in her career. This also explains the title of this album, as Iggy is defending herself against various negative comments about her. Sadly, the 2 intro tracks Thanks I Get and Clapback are the only time she addresses the criticism she receives. I wish she would have shared her perspective on her controversial rap style instead of brushing it off. In my opinion, I believe Iggy's style is genuine, simply by how confident she always was within her flow. You can definitely tell that she's passionate about rapping, and it would have been great if she explored the topic more. The rest of the album revolves around her stunning on her haters by continuing to thrive in her endeavors. This is both good and bad, as Iggy provides great performances along with mediocre ones. A major highlight for me is the song Spend It, as the gloomy trap instrumental is amazing, and Iggy provides multiple flows and delivery that match exceptionally with the production.
I just bought a Bentley and no, it ain't renting. People trying to see who win it, but the widow's in it.
The mediocre tracks that revolve around this concept are met with simplistic repetitive choruses and uninteresting performances from Iggy and the guest features. Perfect examples of this are the songs Big Bag and Freak of the Week. There are instances where the guest features shine, with the major highlight being Lil Yachty's very unique performance on the song Ho Meter. Although Iggy's performances weren't good on the song F It Up, Cash Doll is the highlight of this track, as she provides a great verse. One thing that's different about Iggy's style is that she's way more raunchy. She rapped about sex before, but on this album, it's very explicit. Her new explicit style fits her aesthetic exceptionally, as she has that natural sexy tone in her voice. This leads to another incredible highlight on this album, which is the song Just Wanna, which involves Iggy stating that she just wants sex and nothing more. Her punchlines are great, and the production is extremely catchy along with Iggy's flow.
I'm trying to bust it open. I ain't strip teasing. If we fuck, we suck together like pits breeding. When I put it on.
In conclusion, this is a pretty good album. The concept was definitely a missed opportunity, as Iggy could have explored more on her backlash. I feel like this would have made this project more interesting, as it's filled with club songs with very repetitious subject matter. But thankfully, Iggy has a compelling style that consists of multiple flows, which led to me liking the majority of this project.
Uber on the way, he said can't he stay? Don't pull in my garage.
On Iggy's last album, she provides incredible performances throughout. Her flow feels more refined than ever, and her controversial southern accent is a thing of the past. The reason I say this is because her overall style feels a lot more natural. She continues to provide multiple flows within her verses, which makes tracks highly enjoyable. Something happened on this album that has never happened on my reviews. The production is so incredible, it led to the first 5 tracks having flawless instrumentals. The beats are very unique and creative, which greatly fits Iggy's overall style. This is honestly one of the best produced albums I've ever heard, as there isn't a bad instrumental and they're incredibly unique. Most of the production is up-tempo with various vibes, which consist of a nightclub, vacation, and summertime feel. This also highlights the concept of this album, as Iggy parties throughout. Her lyrics are about how she enjoys the nightlife, as it consists of drugs, clubbing, and having sex. On the track 3 Days in Miami, Iggy states that she's done partying and now wants to enter a new phase in her life. This is an interesting concept, and the execution is phenomenal in my opinion. Iggy also provides motivational tracks, with major highlights for me being the tracks Brazil and Woke Up Diamonds. Iggy talks about how she wants to maintain her lavish lifestyle, as she loves to hustle in order to achieve the finer things in life.
Baby, I'm a star in the sky, you can find me. Brand new watch, is that called perfect timing? Reverse and rewind it, drop it.
Songs that greatly highlight the late night party feel are Sirens and Emo Club Anthem. Both of these tracks have incredible production. Emo Club Anthem is a major highlight, as it greatly captures the late night feel, and Iggy's lyrics are like that of a free spirit, ridding away her problems with drugs and clubbing.
Drugs, I just wanna have fun. I don't care that chick
The Joyful Vacation and Summertime songs are great as well. These songs consist of Peach Body and Sex on the Beach. In other words, this album has a lot to offer, as it has various production styles and exciting performances from Iggy. But although there is a lot of good, there are some flaws. Some of the featured artists ruined songs, as I didn't like their performances and the sound of their vocals. I didn't like Alice Chater's high-pitched singing vocals on the song NYE, which is a shame, as her and Iggy killed their previous collab on the track Lola. Tyga also provides a very boring performance on the song Sip It, but thankfully these are the only instances where I didn't like the performances from the guest features. On the song Is That Right, Bia's aggressive style complements Iggy's flow exceptionally, and Sophia Scott and Elise provide good singing performances on the track Sex on the Beach and 3 Days in Miami. Other minor flaws consist of creative choices that I didn't care for. I didn't like the additional generic vocals on the song Nights Like This, and Iggy did something for the first time as she provides singing vocals on the song Good Times with Bad People. Her singing vocals weren't bad, but she can definitely touch up on them if she plans to showcase this style in the future.
If you're thinking it'll last, it won't. Sound sweet in the morning, it don't. No, you.
In conclusion, this is an amazing album. The production is creative and unique. Iggy's style is more refined than ever, and I'll even go as far as to say that she's in her prime on this project.
Bounce, 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 bounce in the motherfucking.
This project consists of compiled songs that were supposed to appear on Iggy Azalea's sophomore album Digital Distortion. The album was ultimately scrapped due to issues Iggy had with her label at the time. I also took it upon myself to add 4 additional tracks that come from her EP For My Rats, which was a gift project to her fans released on an obscure platform. With all that being said, this is an amazing compilation of tracks that continues to highlight Iggy's passionate rap style that consists of multiple styles and flows. One major thing that I noticed while listening to these tracks is that Iggy inadvertently addressed issues that I had with previous projects. One in particular was the fact that she barely addressed her various controversies. She goes into more detail about her stance and the criticism she receives from various entities. A perfect example that highlights this is the song Middleman. Iggy faces her criticisms head on and comes to the conclusion that people only speak negatively about her as she's an easy target. These people also get their rocks off by constantly speaking on her name. Her response to this is very interesting, as she states that she actually loves hip-hop, which leads to her asking her critics, is it wrong for her to do so? If you ask me, I believe Iggy genuinely loves hip-hop simply based off how passionate she comes off in her music. She also puts a ton of effort in her work, which has led to her making a ton of incredible music. If this project would have become her second album, it definitely would have made an impact. Not only did Iggy address her critics, she also provided a ton of unique styles that involve her experimenting with her flow. One thing I noticed on her third album, The End of an Era, is that she provided a singing performance on a song, which she almost never did. On this project, she provides a multitude of melodic performances, and they aren't bad for the most part. Her best performance with this style comes from the track Going Up, which also involves her having amazing chemistry with the featured artist LeJay Curry, who also sings really well on this track.
It's raining, it's pouring, it's snowing, it's snowing. We be on 10 and you know this.
But just as I said on her third album, her melodic flows still aren't fully refined, even though she presents it really well on this project. Another incredible aspect of this album are her collaborations with the featured artist. I can see songs like Sexy and Can't Lose being hit songs, as Iggy complements the styles of the featured artist remarkably. French Montana surprised me on the song Sexy, as his melodic vocals are extremely good, and Lil Uzi Vert's melodic performance on the song Can't Lose is supremely catchy. Iggy also continues to showcase a fascinating style that consists of her presenting intriguing flows. A perfect example of this is her fast flow on the song Gazillion. Iggy's flow on this track is out of this world, and she never fails to impress me with her unique style.
This is when I kill it, when I rip it, when I get it on. Money gotta flip it, get my spin it on. Fucking with the chicks with some goals, I'm getting time.
But sadly, all wasn't perfect on this project, as there are a handful of tracks where Iggy's flow is unamusing. On certain songs, the pronunciation of her lyrics don't sound appealing. Good examples of this is when she repeats the phrase la 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 at the end of her bars on the song Boom Boom. She did this a couple more times, but it didn't fully affect my experience with this project, as the songs are good for the most part. All in all, this is an amazing compilation of tracks, and if some of them were officially released back then, I could definitely see them being major hits. Now to answer the question, is Iggy Azalea a bad rapper? 100% not. I'm actually shocked that I enjoyed her music as much as I did. This is also a great example of the phrase looks can be deceiving. In Iggy's case, its first impressions can be deceiving, as her music is actually really good. Going into her catalog, I thought her accent would be a main issue for me, but as she continued to release music, the more she mastered her style. Her controversial accent was only an issue for me on her first mixtape, as it wasn't fully refined. After this, she literally got better with each project, which is truly fascinating. Just as I mentioned on her last album, The End of an Era, I feel as though Iggy is in her prime, as her flow feels the most natural. If she keeps this master flow on her next project, it might be a no-skip album. Also, from the start of her projects, she always had a very confident flow, which highlights her eagerness and hunger to reach great heights. It's like she always kept her foot on the gas, as I never got the vibe of her being unenthused in her music. She knows how to adapt to many styles of production, which led to a ton of enjoyable tracks and projects in her discography. I don't even think Iggy has a bad song, as most of the tracks I didn't care for are ruined by guest features, or her not fully mastering her style yet. As I said before, I had no idea that I was going to like Iggy's music as much as I did. I'm completely blown away by her abilities, and I honestly can't wait to hear music from her in the future. With that being said, this was another episode of my Bad Rapper series. Stay tuned, because I plan to do a lot more.